The newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Presidential candidate and Senator Manny Pacquiao warns that a Marcos presidency could mean a return to martial law. He also claims that the Marcos family could use their position in Malacanang to get away with settling their existing debt. Bon Gualvez with a story.
Senator Manny Pacquiao on Thursday has visited fellow presidential bet Vice President Leni Robredo's known bailiwick, Iloilo. He paid courtesy visits to Iloilo City Mayor Jerry Treñas and Provincial Governor Arthur Defensor Jr. Although the two have already pledged support for Robredo, Treñas said that he would have campaigned for Pacquiao if Robredo had not run.
Senator Manny is a very good friend. And if VP Leni did not run, I would probably be supporting him.
While knowing that he's lagging behind in survey numbers, the senator said it would be worrisome if Ferdinand Marcos Jr. wins. He warned that a Marcos victory might mean the return of martial law.
Hindi malayo na magkakaroon ng martial law ulit at yan ay pagsisihan ng taong bayan. Hindi wala akong personal na galit sa mga Marcos pero tinitingnan ko lang yung kapakanan ng bansa natin, kapakanan ng bawat Pilipino.
For Pacquiao, Marcos Jr.'s attitude on the unsettled multi-billion peso estate tax of his family is basis enough of how he'll be once he becomes chief executive. Ultimately, he said the Marcoses want to return to Malacanang for a personal agenda.
So, ang ibig sabihin nun, na-inject doon sa anak na atin man yung gobyerno, tayo ang gobyerno, walang bakit tayo susunod sa batas. Unang-una, absilto dyan sila dyan sa mga ano nila sa gobyerno, yung sa taxes. Pangalawa, yung mga nakadispute na mga ari-arian, kayamanan na trilyon-trilyon, gold deposit, lahat yan, malilinis na yan at kaya na nilang i-transfer sa sariling account nila.
Marcos Jr. meanwhile brushed off these remarks from Pacquiao, and when asked about the accusation that he's only running to escape his family's billions of liabilities, his answer was, quote, "Not so much." For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
The tandem of Bongbong Marcos and Mayor Sara Duterte is now in Tarlac to campaign for the elections. To tell us more about this, we have Marian Enriquez joining us over the phone. Maan, can you tell us the latest?
Yes, he's the presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos and his running mate Sara Duterte may drive here in Tarlac, the so-called Aquino country. The Robredo People's Council Tarlac strongly opposed Marcos Jr.'s visit in the province due to three reasons. It's Bongbong Marcos failure to split the atrocities during the martial law, including the killing of former Senator Emilio Aquino. They also pointed out the lies and dishonesty of Marcos Jr., including his academic record. The group also noted the 203 billion pesos unpaid taxes of the Marcos family. After the grand rally here in Pascual, Tarlac City, the Marcos tandem the local visit Tapa City when and then they will proceed to Panique City for their grand rally at 5:30 p.m. Tarlac has over 819,000 registered voters, and we hope that Bongbong Marcos wants to Vice President Leni Robredo here in Tarlac by around 79,500 votes.
Thank you. That was Marian Enriquez reporting live from Tarlac. Meanwhile, some oil companies have increased the price of liquefied petroleum gas, or LPG, by 3 pesos per kilogram. Petron raised LPG prices by 3 pesos and 25 centavos per kilogram, while auto LPG prices increased by 1 peso and 81 centavos per liter. Now, this also is the same price hike for Phoenix LPG. Now, before the adjustments, an 11-kilogram household LPG cost 880 pesos to 1,100 pesos per tank in Metro Manila. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Here are the stories from around the world. Singapore fully reopens its borders to vaccinated travelers after 2 years of closure due to the pandemic. The aviation hub joins other countries in the region that have recently eased travel restrictions as they shift to the new normal. Previously, only a handful of countries can enter Singapore without quarantine. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization warns that a new and a more virulent COVID-19 variant can emerge. The WHO laid out 3 possible paths that the pandemic could follow in 2022. They said that the most likely way forward is that the severity of the disease could wane over time due to the high vaccination rates. However, the WHO warned that a more dangerous variant of concern than Omicron could be lurking around the corner. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warns that Russia is consolidating and preparing powerful strikes in the country's east and south. This is contrary to Russia's claims in the peace talks last week that it would scale back attacks on Ukraine. However, Ukrainian and Western officials dismissed the pledge, saying that Moscow troops were merely regrouping. With an aging population and shrinking birth rate, Japan is changing its legal age of adulthood to 18 years old. More details in this Bloomberg Quick Take.
Every year, Japan marks Coming of Age Day, a national holiday celebrating the entry into adulthood for teenagers turning 20. But that legal age of adulthood is now dropping to 18, the first such change in a century and a half. With an aging population and a declining birth rate, the thinking is it's time to get those teenagers contributing as adults to the economy sooner.
Aging society causes a lot of social problems such as pension, economic growth, and so forth. But we are expecting the younger generation be more active.
But there are fears many young men and women with little financial knowledge could fall into debt or even fall victim to fraud. While the legal age for drinking, smoking, and public gambling will remain at 20, other areas that have until now needed parental approval will be dropped to 18, such as applying for a credit card or mobile phone contract, renting an apartment, applying for a bank loan, or buying stocks.
Many entrepreneurs started their business in university student days. So if those activities accelerated a little more, the more startup or innovation spirit will be encouraged.
But the question remains, will the move make much of a difference for a moribund economy still clawing out from COVID?
The limiting spending power of younger people means that it will not have a lot of immediate economic impact. But with one person, one vote, you could see a significant increase in the political power of younger people, and that could translate in very interesting ways into new and different economic policies.
Japan did lower the voting age to 18 6 years ago, but still participation in elections by those teenagers is extremely low. So to make adulthood more appealing than old age politics, the Japanese government is turning to a tried and true way to reach the young, through anime, with TV and online ads featuring a popular anime series touting the tagline, "Don't be afraid." Similar campaigns may be needed targeting nervous parents and financial regulators. Stephen Engel, Bloomberg News.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.